The LPR family, moving on, is our 802.15.4. So it's, like I said, the same radio technology as Zigbee, but without the mesh. They're available in 1 milliwatt and 100 milliwatt version, so low and high power. Chip antenna or an RF pen, pinned, where you can plug it in, or surface mount. And then we have kind of our RFM networking layer in lieu of the Zigbee mesh layer with an API. But again, we have these auto reporting in sleep, very similar to the other modules that we've talked about. And here we have something that's very unique. It's a one-hop relay. So with 802.15.4, it's a direct sequence radio. So it does pretty good against multipath, but you can find that you can get in a multipath null. And while one node can hear another node, it can't hear the base station. So what this radio can do is it can send its data to the neighbor that it can hear, who will then relay it on to the base station. And what we found is that in an outdoor application with a lot of cars coming and going, where we had about an 85% reliability, when we added the one-hop relay, that went up into the very high 90%. So we have real-life experience that shows how valuable this is. Excuse me. We also have the heartbeats, as we talked about before, so that if you have a sleeping node, you know it's still there. And again, with sleeping nodes, the auto reporting is so key, because if a node is asleep, how do you know when to poll it? And you can do it, but it means you have to wake the node up, keep the node awake, then transact the business, and what it does is it sucks all of your battery life out. So between the one-hop relay, the heartbeats, and the auto reporting, it really makes the sleep very effective, translating into long battery life. Again, we've got the encryption. We have 6 GPIO, 3 analog inputs, 2 analog outputs. Again, it comes with fully functional firmware. We have had some customers that have written their own firmware for this module, so we will support that. But more often what happens is customers will approach us about writing their own firmware, and we'll ask them, well, why do you want to do that? And when they explain what they're trying to do, the radio already does that. And so we say, hey, look, you can already do that. You don't need to write the firmware for it. So that's a very popular response to kind of write your own firmware, and then you find out, well, it will do it. So a lot of them with their limited functionality doesn't do it. And the prices are very, very low and very competitive. Again, this is a standards-based module, so you're going to have other people out there with similar hardware, but it's a firmware again that really sets us apart. So again, this is your low cost. This is the 15.4 value proposition: low cost, low power radio without the complexity of mesh. The mesh adds latency and network complexity. And really, I would say 80% of the people that come to us asking for Zigbee, once we talk to them, they really just need the 15.4, so they'll actually use the LPR2430 family rather than the Zigbee. All right, so it's low power sensing, but not the mesh. Again, it's going to be, sensing or data, either one, at a low cost, years of battery life. Again, the ability to avoid a coprocessor, keeping the battery power consumption down and the cost down. And then that one-hop relay alleviates the concern about any temporary obstructions or moving equipment that might cause a multipath null to form. So the LPRs win because we have more of these functions that we talked about. We talked about the heartbeats, again, the join, leave messages. It's amazing to me the number of people, technologies out there, that the way you know a node is there is it responds to you or doesn't respond to you. And this is an affirmative join and leave message. Chip antenna, UFL connectors, pinned, surface mount, and then again our common footprint that we have.